Former Chief of Cowessess First Nation, Cadmus Delorme, is stepping into a new role as the 10th Chancellor of the University of Regina. Delorme is a national voice for truth and reconciliation and Indigenous-led leadership. As Chancellor, he'll oversee academic welfare of the university, serve as a voting member on the Board of Governors, and represent the university in ceremonial duties as well. And he joins us now to discuss what's next. Good morning, Cadmus, and congratulations.
Thank you. Good morning, Adam.
What does it mean to you to be named the Chancellor?
It's an honor. Education drove me to where I am today and the role I play for Indigenous people, for Saskatchewan and Canada. And so now it's just me paying it forward and being able to represent the University of Regina, Treaty 4 University. It's an honor.
And as a student, more than a decade ago, that's not a long time. It's more recently than I was at the U of R. Did you ever think, I'm going to be up there on the convocation day as the Chancellor?
I got my undergraduate degree in 2013. And when you're lined up to walk across the stage, they say, do not touch the people in the middle. Like, don't shake their hands, just nod at them. So I was like, oh my God, these are like something I didn't understand what a chancellor role was. I got my master's degree in 2016, and I was a chief by then. And I shook the chancellor's hand because he at the time kind of initiated it. So now today that I get to sit there, less than 10 years later, it's just full circle.
What does the University of Regina mean to you?
My mother personally attended my personal journey. My mother graduated with an education degree in 1993. And so I'm the second generation to attend. And the First Nations University of Canada is where I got my undergraduate degree, the Johnson-Shiama School of Public Policy is where I got my master's. I also got an ICD out of the Levine School. I've been on the board for 5 years now. I've been the board chair for 3 of those. I understand the vision, the mission, what our strengths are. I understand the community, the alumni. So, the university, definitely I and the university get along very well. And I really see where I can contribute to helping it grow.
What is that?
Transitioning to being the chancellor, I'm the chair of the Senate. I am no means any decision maker. I'm a tone at the top, a tone setter, ceremonial leader when it comes to the convocations, but Senate is the one that agrees to the academia of the institution. The University of Regina is governed by an act, which is a provincial legislation, and the board plays the regulation of financial administration, and I love that role. We have a balanced budget, we got a good mission, and now moving over to chancellor, we have a chance to discuss how our world is changing, how academia must pivot. International is normal, students, we got AI, we got reconciliation, has our departments and programs pivoted in that crucial time today to make sure education is relevant for the next 50 years? Those are the discussions that a Senate has, and that's what I look forward to chairing.
You mentioned reconciliation there. How do you see your role fitting into that in that discussion?
I'm a proud Indigenous person. I'm a proud Saskatchewanian and Canadian. In order to get to reconciliation, every one of us that share this land must be able to walk and respect both worldviews. My role in reconciliation is to show how you can walk in both worlds, that Indigenous world and that Canadian world. And so reconciliation is something personal to me. I have shown to date, I'm 43 years old right now and still have a lot to learn, but I can show what reconciliation looks like. And we all inherited a history today. Nobody created this today. We all inherited it, but because we benefit on this great land together, we must all know we're a part of the marathon now of reconciliation. And that's where I come in with a voice.
And Cadmus, what's your hope for Indigenous students at the U of R?
Sometimes Indigenous people, we don't want pity, we don't want anybody to feel sorry for us, but sometimes young Indigenous people don't see relevance to what they're doing, meaning that some don't really want to see themselves in university because they don't see too much of, themselves or people around them doing that, and we're getting stronger. Please, I don't want to give no discredit to every Indigenous person that has graduated to date. Like, I love seeing Indigenous graduates, but to see that there's an Indigenous person as the chancellor, my hope is that Indigenous people wanting to come to university see that it's normal to see Indigenous people sitting at all levels in our university. And we are getting stronger one day at a time. And I just want to reference with the University of Regina, we have the First Nations University of Canada, which has been there since 1976 and has led Indigenous worldview teachings on campus for all students to participate in.
Cadmus, I know you're a big sports fan, avid golfer. Do you foresee yourself taking part in enjoying some of the athletics at the U of R? There's strong programs there when it comes to various sports at the university.
Yes, I recently picked up running. I'm a daily runner now. I still golf. I take a little bit of lunch money, Adam, but I'm not as good as I used to be. I play every sport, but my attitude is foundational. If I don't have the talent, I'll bring the sock tape for hockey. I'll bring the cheerleader on the side of the soccer, but I am a part of the team. President Jeff and I participated. I tried to participate in each sports practice last fall, and we plan to do it again just to show that the president, and at the time I was the board chair, now as the chancellor, hopefully we can do that again.
Invite the cameras out next time, because I'd love to document that and see that. Cadmus, what's one thing you want people to know about the U of R that maybe is undersold or underappreciated?
The U of R is a campus, a university that is nationally and internationally respected. We are not the biggest university in Saskatchewan. The University of Saskatchewan out of Saskatchewan is a foundational university in our province. The University of Regina, we're big enough to provide many different academia, sports, but we also were small enough to pivot. We're small enough to change when we need to show that, the Saskatchewan growth plan, that we have to make sure we're a part of that the Canada, priorities, we have to be a part of that. The international, recognition, we got to be a part of that. That's the thing about the University of Regina. Think of it like a big town in our province. We may not be the biggest city, but we are a big town with a Costco and all that. And so we still can compete, but we're small enough to pivot. And we need community involvement. This is not an internal thing. This is the community's university. And so that's something about the University of Regina. And one of our strongest departments, we have many great departments, I'm not discrediting any, but psychology is one of our founding, one of the strongest in the country. We have Indigenous, we have science. So I'm not here to sell any of the programs, but I'm just saying that, I look forward to continuing my role, helping on behalf of alumni, on behalf of students and future students. My duty of care is to help enhance the University of Regina.
Cadmus, once again, congratulations. Thanks for being with us. Look forward to chatting with you in the future.
Thank you, Adam.